Greetings, Helldivers, and welcome back to R.A.S.H Tactics Episode 8. So, in today's episode, we are going to cover the ICBM mission, and yet again, we are doing this one on hard difficulty. But with this mission on hard, you do get an additional sub-objective to complete. So, it's not just extreme difficulty and higher that gives you more sub-objectives. There are some missions that you will gain additional ones on the lower difficulty levels as well. So just to keep that in mind, with the ICBM, you do start gaining additional sub-objectives on hard and higher. And another quick thing to be aware of is that this is another mission that does not matter whether or not you're facing against the bots or the bugs. You can find this mission against both of them, so don't be too concerned about which side of the galaxy you're on. It's more to do with the state of the planet, whether or not you'll see this mission. So you won't see any ICBM missions on defense campaigns because, well, it's pretty straightforward, really. A defense campaign is when you are just defending the planet against an enemy invasion, and you don't want to be launching ICBMs against your own population, because that's essentially what you would be doing. So you'll only find this particular mission on Liberate campaigns. So when the planet has already been taken over by the enemy and we're trying to take it back, you're launching these missiles to basically take out their control centers, take out their armies, and take out their production capabilities. Let's talk about the first sub-objective for this mission, which is the main sub-objective you'll always get no matter what difficulty level you do it on. You'll have to do this before going off to do the main objective, which is to retrieve the launch codes for the missile. As you're approaching the objective on the map, you'll notice that once again it's another human compound surrounded by buildings. Sometimes it's even a dig site, and once you're in the compound, you just need to keep your eyes peeled for another box on the floor that's shaped and looks a bit like the hard drive from the data retrieval mission. Now, the game does make it quite simple to find this one, as with other smaller objectives when you're looking for them, which is that it will have a small marker on your screen when you get close enough to it, so it's pretty much always telling you where it is. But it does also let out its own little chime as well, so that you can tell where it is even if you can't see it. But the best piece of news about this objective is that you don't have to carry it manually to the missile itself. All you have to do is pick it up and the box disappears, and then the code will appear on your screen when you're prompted to enter it as you're launching the missile. Once you have located those launch codes, you'll then have to go and complete a secondary sub-objective if you're doing this mission on hard difficulty or higher, which will be to reactivate a power generator. This generator will be located within another human compound, which will be slightly larger than the previous one, where you found the launch codes. When you find the generator, it will have a panel on the front you'll need to activate. You'll then have to reactivate the blown fuses, which really isn't difficult. I think it's just 6 button presses. And then you'll have to calibrate the machine up to 100. Once the machine is calibrated, you will then have to go and flip a lever on the transformer, which will usually be located a very short distance away from the actual generator itself. Once you've flipped the lever, it will then be activated and the sub-objective will be complete. After you've completed the sub-objectives, you'll then be able to make your way over to the main mission objective on the map, which will be a large circular silo built into the ground with these rocky walls around the outside. One of these walls will feature a panel that you'll need to activate and enter a short code. After entering that code, you'll then be prompted to enter the launch codes you picked up earlier, and those codes are located at the top right of your screen with the objective text. Usually it's just 5 numbers that you have to enter. After you've entered those codes, you'll then have to go around the outside edges of the silo doors and unlock the 4 pins before you can go back over to the panel and open the doors and raise the missile into position. Once the missile has raised into position, you'll then need to make your way over to the panel once again to lock the target coordinates. To do this, all you have to do is adjust the marker on the square grid to the correct square. You'll then have to wait about 30 seconds for the missile to be fueled, and then you can go back to the screen and activate the launch. Now, one thing to be aware of about the launch is that if you are wanting to watch it, then I would highly recommend either positioning yourself away from the silo but still looking at the missile so you can watch it take off, or lying down, because the missile now has a blast wave on launch that can knock you back and kill you, as you can see in the footage here. The first few times I played this mission when I first started playing it, I never noticed that blast wave, and I would usually stand on a box right next to the panel doing the standard salute, and yeah, it didn't have a blast wave back then, so this is obviously a recent addition to this mission. I like it because it adds a level of immersion, but I don't like it because if it kills you, then you don't get to watch the launch. You also don't get to watch the missile turn into a mushroom cloud of democracy. And that is everything for this mission. There really isn't much else I can tell you about this one. Once you've completed the actual launch, you can then use the rest of your mission time to go off and explore other areas of the map, complete any side objectives you've missed, any hidden caches, pick up any samples, stuff like that, and then make your way over to the extraction. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one.